My name is Michael.
My name is Jennifer.
My name is Trevor.
My name is Kiana Brain.
I'm Matt.
My name is Kelly.
My name is Darius Castaway.
Dan Forrest.
I am in Arizona.
Louisiana.
I'm in California.
And I live in Mississippi.
I'm from Louisiana.
Currently reside in the state of North Carolina.
Seaper, Louisiana.
And I'm from Louisiana.
So how has being
Quarantine affected
Or changed
Your life.
Thankfully for me, it hasn't been so drastic. I was able to continue to get paid.
Being quarantined has affected every aspect of my life, from how often I can go into work.
We have been very blessed that it really hasn't changed our lives in a lot of ways. My husband is still working. Thankfully, he works in the medical field, so he's still working and working a lot.
My job cut all my hours, so I no longer work, which has been kind of a struggle. Not making any money, and I still have bills to pay.
Well, to be honest, not much has changed. Besides my current working space, I've been moved from out of the office into like an actual work from home situation.
The first big thing it did was it kept me from being able to go to Fan Expo Dallas. I was supposed to go with a friend of mine. He was going to treat me. I was going to get to go for free, basically. I was going to get the 4 actors who played the main 4 hobbits in The Lord of the Rings to sign my copy of Fellowship of the Ring.
It hasn't really done too much, just with the exception that here in the area that I reside in, there's a curfew. So with me working late at night, it's kind of been interesting.
I would say in a lot of ways, quarantine hasn't directly impacted me in the sense of anything job related. The work side of it fortunately hasn't changed, which is good. I'm fortunate to still have work, still have a job.
Well, I've been out of work for over a month now, so there's not really any income coming in. Thank God I live with my sister and our bills aren't very much. My car's paid for and I don't have rent, so that's a blessing.
not too dramatically, to be honest with you, at this point, because I feel like I've been prepared for this situation a little bit because, I've been working from home for over a year and a half now.
I am a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschool my children all the time. So in certain ways, our lives really haven't changed. Now, a lot of our events have been canceled. So even though we homeschool, we have a lot of events and clubs and field trips. So all of that has been canceled. And my kids kind of keep asking me, Mom, why aren't we doing this? So they think it's my fault. And I have to explain to them, son, that this is all over the whole country.
I did make a decision to stay away from my fiance for a while since he works around a lot of people. He's a food truck delivery. It was best that I stay with my mom. So the most drastic changes that I've been living with them and not home.
Technically, I've always been a homebody, so even as an example, back in 2011, when I was back home in Louisiana, I came out of the house for the first time in maybe 3-4 months. And not like I didn't come out, to the point it was visual to my next door neighbor.
This virus has pretty much it crept its way into every aspect of my life. Thankfully, no one that I know, no friends or family have contracted the virus yet. So, I'm grateful for that.
As you can see, I'm kind of a Tolkien fan. That's my shrine back there.
It's changed my life in that way. At the same time, it's not all bad. I get to spend a little bit more time at home doing things that I wouldn't normally have time to do.
I've been going to the grocery and stuff for a sister and mother who lives next door who's 79, so we want to keep her safe at home. Sister stays home as well, and I have been masking and gloving and keeping 6 feet distance from everybody that I encounter in the supermarket.
I find myself working more because there's nothing else to do. So you might as well go ahead and work.
Work got harder, that's for sure. It's nonstop. Gotta put stuff out and then it's gone and it's gone. What you see is what we got.
What have you learned
Or been doing.
While quarantined, I have a 4-year-old, so I've learned lots of patience, lots of crafts.
For the most part, man, just working. I spent a lot of time just getting adjusted back to working from a like work at home perspective. But like besides that, the self-evaluation, I think self-reflection is everybody's kind of thing right now.
I've been doing a lot of reading. I've been catching up on a lot of house chores that have been neglected for too long, so that's a plus, I guess.
One of the things that I've learned during the quarantine, that a lot of people are selfish, self-serving. A lot of people will listen to the media before they use their own mind, which is crazy to me.
I have actually started my own podcast and do that on a weekly basis, and I feel like I have the extra time to do that now that I am not working. I've also just been trying to keep myself active, not necessarily going out being active, but like cleaning wise. I had recently just got a new dog, so like I take her on walks every couple hours.
I need to stock up on more things. So we do stock up all year long on general supplies, extra food, extra toilet paper. So we haven't had to go out and have to really deal with that. But, I wish that I had had more on hand to help other people.
I'm not quarantined. I'm an essential worker because I work retail. I have been doing my part to stay home as much as possible when I'm not at work. I do all my grocery shopping, and then I go home and I stay home. I don't go anywhere.
We've been learning lots of recipes. I like to cook, lots of Netflix shows.
I read a lot of self-help books, especially about dealing with your emotions and other types of things, and as well as I've picked up a book on ethical hacking as well. Not to try to do anything malicious, but try to see the inner workings of it.
I'm also a playwright, so I've been writing a lot, and writing my new show. I've been cleaning and doing a little soul searching, watching a lot of television and cooking. I love to cook. Have a new Instapot and an air fryer, so I'm coming up with quite a few different recipes. And Mom and I take turns cooking, and Sister helps us as well.
Trying to learn a new language. I've already got kind of a groundwork for it. Just the hard part is actually, doing the work. Studying. I haven't had to actually study on a regular basis in years.
Not a whole lot. What is there really to do? If anything, I've learned how to just be at peace and be still, but that's something I've been practicing long before COVID-19 came along. I wanted to learn how to take that moment and just relax. Take those moments and just sit, read a book, not do anything at all, just think. I made a joke to family and friends not too long ago. I used to, be the guy that made fun of the old people sitting on the porch reading the paper, drinking coffee, thinking, how boring is that? But guess who's the guy that sits on the porch and, reads the news on his phone and drinks the coffee? This guy right here.
I try to take advantage of being more creative at this time, just because the world to some degree has kind of come to a halt. So I've been trying to find a better outlet to be able to be creative, I've been coming up with more ideas. I've been trying to make more videos. It's hard because we do have kids at home, so there's not a lot of quiet time to be able to allocate, just like how I'm doing it right now. It's kind of scary. They're not being loud.
I've seen some people just help the neighbors out, which is a good thing.
The rest of my time has been filled mostly with Animal Crossing during the day. During the day, it's Animal Crossing.
We've been homeschooling, we've been gardening, the same things that we would normally do. We've just not been going and doing our extra activities.
I learned how crazy things get very fast, and as if I didn't know that before, I've learned how people seem to be selfish at the times you would expect people not to be. As much as people seem to be greedy during this period of time, there are a large handful of people that are very giving.
What has been
The hardest
Part about being in
Quarantine. Hardest part about being in quarantine is
Not knowing if I'm gonna have enough money to pay bills. That's probably my biggest worry.
I think mainly just the interaction with people has made everything harder. That's like the interaction with people.
I like to think of myself as a social person, and at the very least, I'm a very, like, physical affection kind of a person. Like, if I see a friend of mine, I want to hug him, I want to squeeze him. So that's hard.
Not being able to see my friends and family the way that I usually do, you know. I'm really close with my siblings, and we hang out a lot. And because of the virus and because of, you know, everything that's going on, we've had to limit our interactions to, like, you know, video calls and stuff like that, which is great, you know, but it's, you know, it's not the same.
It's hard to sit in the house all day, even if it's for your own good. Like, for an extended amount of time, it's hard to sit in this house for a long time.
Missing out on being at home, missing just everyday life, going to work, coming home, cooking dinner, weekends, seeing family and friends and hugs and we just take so much for granted that we don't realize, you know, just the little things that matter. It's just going to see a friend or a family member, and that's been the absolute hardest.
Just not being able to find some of the products that you normally look for, especially on a day-to-day basis. Going into a store and trying to find some of the things that you normally get, not being there is just, I don't know, it's really inconvenient. Just trying to keep yourself occupied.
Even though I live next door to my mom and I see her, I can't hug her or give her a kiss. Since I am the one who goes out to the stores when necessary, I've been taking my temperature obsessively for over a month, and actually I found out that my temperature runs a little bit low, so that's a good thing.
For me, I'm a really social person, and I didn't used to be, so people who knew me a long time ago, it's weird for them, but I love hanging out with people. I love going places, talking with people. So it has been hard to not, you know, go to church and fellowship with others, go out to eat. And these things are trivial. You know, there's people who are just, they're going through so much. It has been really hard just watching people panic and watching people be afraid. I'm not living like that. You know, I've been really sick in the past with some horrible stuff. We actually had a virus in 2019, in the beginning of 2019, that I'm just very thankful that we survived it. My whole family got it. It was terrible.
Just watching everything go down, watching the news, listening to the stories of the experiences that people have had. You know, I've even known some people that have gotten a little frightened because, you know, they've gotten the flu and they're wondering, is this the flu or is this, you know, just something that's passing? You know, is it the COVID-19 situation or is it something that's passing?
Not being able to see people that you're used to seeing, even if you're not seeing them all the time, just being able to see them and interact with, you know, your friends and your family and people that to some degree we take for granted that we get to see as often as we do. And I feel the hardest part, even though I enjoy my own time, I do enjoy being social and I do enjoy interacting with friends and family and not being a complete recluse all the time.
What do you hope
Our world
Learns or
Takes away from this.
Pandemic.
I hope people learn how to wash their damn hands. And I hope you learn how to eat your almonds. Have you eaten your almonds yet? You still haven't. I told you back there in 2013.
We become more health conscious as a culture. I hope that's something that we can take away from this in a positive sort of way. I also hope that we understand more the nature of viruses and how deadly they can really be.
There's so many things that we take for granted. You know, being around our family members. I don't think we ever imagined that would be something that changed where you couldn't go hang out with friends or family.
that people learn to be smarter the next time, and hopefully it doesn't happen, but the next time it does, I just hope people are more understanding and less prone to do panic shopping and stay out when orders are to stay at home and to self-distance yourself.
I hope that we learn how to help one another. If you can follow any one rule in your life, is to, love and help other people. It's just not about you and you only. Love your friends, love your family, love those who are close to you. But it's more to it. It is more to it. We've got to love those who are out there. We have to give, even when sometimes you've got very little. Give when you can. Help when you can. Protect those around. Help protect those around you. And it doesn't take a dramatic act to do that.
I hope they learn to wash their hands. People, they've gotten a little better, but people don't wash their hands. As someone who has to frequent a public restroom, retail, I can tell you, people don't wash their hands. Children, they wash their hands. So I see them scrubbing like they're going into surgery.
I hope that everyone learns that you can't take some of the small things that you actually have in your life for granted. For instance, the people that can't work right now, you're employed, so be thankful that you actually have a job, and especially for those that actually can't go to work right now.
I would like to see people be more self-reliant, not to rely on the government as much. I'd like to see people start growing their own food. One thing I've really enjoyed watching is everybody on Facebook making their own bread. Like, I've been making bread for 12 years now, so I thought it was just really neat to see people, hey, where can I find yeast to make bread, and the yeast and flour are disappearing from the store. So I would like to see people stock up on more supplies, to have at least 6 months supplies of basic staples, like things like potato flakes, oatmeal, beans, rice, flour, baking powder, yeast, sugar, basic supplies stored up in their home.
We need to respect each other, love each other, and work together as a team again.
We need to learn to come together better. I know this has been a thing that's been a thing forever. It seems like there's always indifference, and difference is not always a bad thing. Difference of opinion, things like that. But I feel like, I hope what the world takes away is that when things get serious, we need to do our part. We need to pull together. We need to be more health conscious. We need to take care of ourselves better. We need to learn to protect ourselves as well as do things to protect our fellow human.
And if you could hug anyone right now,
Who would it
be?
I would love to get a hug from my mother. If she was still living, I would love to get a hug from her, because sometimes you need that hug.
I'd hug Freddie Mercury, because he died before I ever got to meet him, and that makes me sad sometimes.
That's tough. I see my grandmother though, man. I argue with her a lot about days like these, and now that we're here, it's kind of like, okay, I need your help on the other side. So that's all.
My siblings, my coworkers, my niece and nephew, I'd give my parents, of course, who are states away.
It would definitely be my grandparents. I'm used to seeing them 2 to 3 times a week, and I haven't been able to see them or hug them.
I would definitely love to hug my mother, Karen Castaway, my dad, my stepmother, Demetrius and Jackie Castaway, my son, Draylon Castaway, and my daughter, Zahara Castaway, better known as Susie.
My papa, Lloyd, he died in December of 2011, and he's the one who really taught me what I know about canning food, storing up, how to survive. They didn't live like that, at the end, but they grew up like that. He's the one who taught me how to make jelly, how to can food, how to garden, how to do stuff, how to survive if you really, really have to.
I would hug my mom, and it's kind of hard being this close to her and not being able to give her a physical hug, but she understands.
I think about my grandparents. They passed in the last couple of years, just like a year away from each other. And I would not have wanted to see them go through this.
My entire family. I kind of live a distance away from my family, especially my mom. My mom is on the opposite side of the country, You know, I'm in Arizona and she's in Virginia. She's the furthest family member I have away from me. And, you know, I definitely would want to hug her right now. You know, the rest of my family, my uncles, my brothers, my dad, stepdad, everyone in my family, I want to hug. My grandpa for sure. I miss that guy every single day. There's not a day that goes by where I don't think about him.
I would definitely want to hug my parents right now and my daughter. I haven't seen them in person since Easter, and that was through okay, I didn't think this was gonna get me like this. It was through the back of my trunk when I didn't think this was gonna get me like this. Through the back of my trunk when my mom and my daughter loaded us some food in for Easter. So, I need to collect myself for a minute here. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have that hug. I also would really like to hug my grandma, my mom's mom. She's been gone since I was 9. Think about her a lot. Glad her and my grandpa didn't have to live through this, and also my papa, my dad's dad. I'm glad they didn't have to go through this, because I know this is hard on everybody, but it can be exceptionally hard on older or elderly people.